good afternoon, classmates. Today we're going to present a newspaper article, and we're going to analyze it. Well, first of all, what is media? Media is communication channels through which news, entertainment, education, data, or promotional messages are distributed. Okay. It will vary depending on the sense you want to give to the newspaper or to the article or to the news you want to spread. There are several types of it. It can be printed, it can be electronic media, new age media, which involves computer, internet, or some sort of data like that. We can have newspaper, magazines, books, billboards, radio, television. It would depend on what you're searching for. News can also depend in the country you're located, because of that, then the sense of it will vary. Well, now we're gonna analyze the next news, which is the Hurricane Raymond.
The main topic that we are going to discuss is about the Hurricane Raymond. That is a tropical cyclone that is threatening actually the southwestern coastline of Mexico. It originated as a tropical depression in October 19 of the present year. And when it appeared, an emergency declaration was issued in several municipalities in Guerrero.
So this time they did issue the warning.
Yes.
Because the last time was what was the Manuel? Nobody knew anything about it. Okay.
Residents were evacuated from flood-prone areas to avoid the damage of the climatological situation. The state government closed seaports and set up 700 emergency shelters, and because of this, schools and classes in Europe were closed and suspended.
So we made an analysis and compared different aspects
of the differences of media.
Sure.
And we use the TV, newspaper, and internet.
Great.
Okay, so in the type of headlines, for example, in the newspaper, the headline wasn't very flamboyant. It didn't stand out from the others. It was in the common section, not in the most. Las más importantes.
Most important one.
The most important. The headline was Hurricane Raymond Strength and Seen Missing Mexican Coast.
Well, in the TV article we saw, news, the headline was a bit dramatic since they started talking about the news, and they put this title, which is Raymond because it becomes major hurricane as it nears Mexico. It was, as I mentioned before, a little dramatic since it puts the situation of the hurricane.
In the case of the internet, the headline is merely informative, as it describes the main topic that is going to be discussed in only one sentence. Well, it does not show, but it's like Hurricane Raymond menaces the southwestern coastline of Mexico.
Were all the news in English, or are you translating?
No, the one I translated was the first one since we got it from Noticias News.
And what was the headline in Spanish?
Well, they just mentioned, like, it was, well, it's the same thing, basically. It said,
Se
Hurricane
vuelve?
Raymond,
Se vuelve? Or se well, anyway, go on. Forget about what I'm saying.
Okay, this was the New York Times, the newspaper,
And in the case of the internet, was the official webpage of CNN.
okay, when it comes to condensed and relevant info, it's like the part where the newspaper or something makes like an abstract, the most important information of the news. So in the case of the New York Times, they just wrote the first major hurricane of the Eastern Pacific season
Striking.
as it came to a out of Mexico early on Monday, but forecasters expected it to be head out to sea later in the week and miss the coast.
Is this actually happening, or is the hurricane getting farther from the coast? Do you know what's happening?
Well, it's what I'm going to.
Okay.
Hold on. On the TV, they mentioned, I made this small summary of what
Very
the
good.
reporter said. And it basically talked about how this hurricane changed from category to category 3 and how it's causing major disasters and floods.
In the internet article, what it says is that forecasters predict that the hurricane is going to get away from the areas that it is affecting nowadays, and it is going to go to the Pacific coast. But first of all, it is going to dump heavy rain in the north of Acapulco.
Okay, and in subjectivity and objectivity, in the case of the New York Times, it was very objective. When we see on Mexican news, for example, they're very like emotional and all our brothers from Guerrero and Black. But New York Times just explain what happens and that's it. They were very accurate and credible. They showed statistics and with precision what happened, at which speed, how strong, and everything.
Okay.
So it was very accurate.
On the TV news, it was also very objective. They talked about a lot of information. They gave a lot of information, but as Renata just told, they were like a little dramatic since it's in a news from our country. They were like, we'll support our brothers from hurricane and please send help and you know that type of stuff.
Yeah, they
They
manipulate.
like from this sense of belonging since we're the affected ones. So we can have use that.
They appeal to our emotions.
Exactly. That was
Well, in the internet article, as the other ones, it is very the information is very objective. As the opinion of the other, it is not presenting any of the parts, as it only like shows a view of what is happening in that place, and the information is also very accurate and credible as it comes from an official news web page.
Okay. So other aspects we analyzed was semantic relations, intertextuality. It means like when we're talking about something, we use like words related to that context.
Yes.
So in the newspaper, I found storms, hurricanes, stranded tourists, wind speed, nautical miles, flash floods, marine
Mudslides.
marine activity, and meteorological.
Maritime activity.
All of these words are related with the main topic, which is a hurricane.
On the
So threats. And I'm just reading out loud. Go ahead, continue.
On the TV news, it was pretty much the same thing. They mentioned less words, but it was like disaster, floods, so rain, dangerous rain, cold front. The same thing. It relates to the main topic.
And in the case of the internet article, it was menace, hurricane force winds, storm surge, coastal flooding, onshore flow, destructive waves, deadly mudslides, and tropical depression. This is all to like show the reader the impact that the hurricane has in the affected areas.
And we realized they used similar words like mudslides, because it's the same. Yeah. And the content of the news. Okay, on the newspaper it was very informative, as I said. It contains the background, like the climatic situation in Guerrero, the statistics, accurate information on the magnitude and strength of the hurricane, like the nautical miles, and the marine activity, and all of that. So it was very specific and complete.
In the case of the TV news, it was also informative, but it gave less background, and it was very persuasive, as I mentioned before. They explained the situation going on with the hurricane, and they also pursued people to help.
In the case of the internet article, as the TV one, it doesn't show too much background, as it shows the actual situation of the hurricane, how it is affecting the people. It was completely informative, specific, and detailed, and it informs the reader about the impact that the hurricane has had in the affected zones and how this damage has been increasing in some of the coastal areas.
Okay, types of visuals like visual support, and the New York Times, they didn't have any pictures, charts, videos, anything. Like I said, it wasn't really relevant for them, so it was just like short and no visual supports.
On the other hand, on the TV news, the videos, which is what's going on, the TV, the images, they put a lot of images of the affected areas, and they also interviewed people who had lost or were affected because of the hurricane.
And in the internet, there was that image that you can see that really shows how, the situation, how the climate is seen in that area.
There was only one picture.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so, and then in summary, although there is a standardized way to write news, we can see that there are some features that distinguish each media from each other, and this distinction will appear because of the audience it is directed. Why? Because, for example, as we said, TV is more personal, and every kid can see the news and see the shocking information about it. For example, in internet, you can find even some violent images that will describe the whole panorama. And for example, in newspapers, you can see detailed in a very detailed way the information that is presented. So in summary, it would depend on the audience you're directing and in what you're searching. Thank you.
And these are our reports.
Okay, thank you.